Okay, in this video I just wanted to cover a subject that a few people had asked me about, and that's copying photos and video from one card to another. So in the instance of this, we're talking about, you've gone and shot something to maybe the CF Express card or the SD card, and you want to jump that from one to the other once it's been shot. So I mean, one of the reasons maybe you'd want to do that if you don't have the USB lead for the camera, so you can't directly access it as storage, and maybe you've only got one card reader with you, or you just want to free up a card for something. So there's a couple of reasons you might want to do it, but obviously you need two cards loaded in. You'll need a CF Express card and you'll need a SD card to be able to do this. But we're just going to jump in and have a quick look at the kind of options that are available here. So if we jump into the camera, and then we want to just go to menu, and then down here in the edit image menu, so we want the little playback window and then the scissor icon. If we come into there, we've got a copy option, and then if we click onto that, you can see we've got a few options in here. So the first one, we've got the copy direction. So 1 and 2, 1 always refers to CF Express cards in this camera, and 2 always refers to the SD card. So if you want to jump from one way to the other, you can do that. It's worth bearing in mind there is a restriction here. So if you shoot video on the CF Express card, that's not always possible to copy that over to the SD card. So this really is more useful going from the SD card to the CF Express card if you're a video shooter. If you shoot photos, you can go either way and it will be fine. So we've got select copy. We've covered copy direction. That's fairly straightforward. Select copy. Right, so here we've got the options. DCIM, that's your standard saving folder. So if you've not done anything to the camera, generally all of your photos and videos will be stored under that DCIM, and then there'll be a panner and then a numbered sequential folders essentially. And private relates to anybody that has Cine file naming set up. If you don't know what that is, I'll link above in the corner to that. But if you don't know what that is, you just want DCIM. That's where where all your photos and videos are going to be. So like I say, in this one I've got a 100 panner folder, and I can jump into here, and then it's just as simple as you can just use your finger to just sort of click on and click off of certain ones. You can use the wheel to kind of scroll up and down, and yeah, you can essentially just grab what you want that way. So for example, if we take we don't want anything too massive. What have we got? Okay, well, if we just take that video, and then once we hit OK, you can see we've got the copy source, the copy destination, and generally what it will do, if you just select one thing, quite often it will give you the option to either create a new folder, or whether it just goes in to an existing folder. Otherwise, if it's multiple images or multiple videos, generally it just creates a new folder. So we can just say yes, and then you can see here it's copying over. This is just one video and it's not a particularly long clip, so bear in mind if you're copying a lot of things over, this is going to take a while. So that is literally just one video that's done. And then again, we can do copy all in folder. So again, Cine naming down in private, DCIM. We can do this, but on mine, my cards, I'm fairly certain it's not going to have enough space. But if we hit set, that's how we copy the whole folder. And yeah, you can see it says it's got inadequate storage, but the video would just be me sat here for the next sort of 20-30 minutes if it was doing that. So, and again, you can do that in the private storage, but I haven't got anything in that Cine folder, so there's nothing there to be done. And then the last option we've got, copy all in card. Again, I can't do that, but what the difference between these two, copy all in folder, it will only either do Cine naming or DCIM. Copy all in card will do both. So your Cine naming files will end up in the private folder, and your DCIM files will end up in a DCIM folder, if that makes sense. So like I say, generally into new folders copied into the card. And that's really the whole menu. The other nice thing you can do on this, we've talked about function buttons before. If you're sort of not really sure what I'm talking about, I'll link above on how to kind of do these. But if we take the front button, for example, hold it down, and then we've got this option to kind of select shortcuts. We can actually do that in the playback menu as well. So if we jump into the playback menu, and then I'll just do the same thing. Any function button will work, but I'll just do it for this front one. Hold it down. And then you can see here we've got the playback function menu. You can see it's different because there's only two different tabs for this one. And you can see we've got the scissors option there, which was our copy menu. So if we hit copy, now what we can actually do, if we just jump into playback, just the video playback, and then just go to something that we can actually see. Okay, so yeah, this little guy with a camera is fine. And then now if I press my shortcut button, my new one called copy, you can see, do I want to save it in the same folder, create a new folder, or select a folder? I can just say I'd like to create a new folder. It'll ask me if I want to copy it. And then the image is copying across, and that's done. So that's quite a nice little shortcut that we can kind of add to it. As far as I'm aware, there's no way that you can automate that. So you can't sort of go from one card and then it copies it to the next outside of using backup recording. So I know some people have said, they really wanted the CF Express card to drop files back onto the SD card when they're shooting things that the SD card can't, sort of after the video's been shot, so it's not quite so intensive. It's just backing it up afterwards. And as far as I'm aware, that's not possible. And like I say, some file sizes or some videos can't actually be copied to the SD card at all. So there are some limitations to it, but it can be quite a useful little feature at times. So if you're looking for more information on just kind of backup recording in general or anything, I'll link to a video about that. But it's this is a bit of a different thing for this. So yeah, hopefully that's helped. If it has, give the video a like. If you want to see more about the Panasonic GH6, then please check out the playlist on this channel, and please subscribe.